Greetings and welcome to the Pub Songs Podcast. We have famous Irish songs with an interview with Jerry O'Byrne that I did in Dingle, Ireland in 2020. It's all on the Pub Songs Podcast. Our Lord, 1806, we set sail from the sweet Cove of Cork. We were sailing away with the cargo of bricks for the Grand City Hall in New York. 'Twas an elegant craft, she was rigged fore and aft. Oh, how the wild trades drove her. She could stand a great blast with her 27 masts. We called her the Irish Rover. There was Barney McGee from the banks of the Lee. There was Hogan from County Tyrone. There was Johnny McGurk, who was scared stiff of work, and a chap from Westmeath called Malone. There was Slugger O'Toole, who was drunk as a rule, and Fighting Bill Tracy from Dover. And your man Mick McCann from the banks of the Bann was the skipper, the Irish Rover. Yo! We had 1 million bags of the best Sligo rags. We had 2 million barrels of bones. We had 3 million sides of old blind horses' hides. We had 4 million barrels of stone. We had 5 million hogs and 6 million dogs, and 7 million barrels of porter. We had 8 million bales of old nanny goat tails, and the hold of the Irish Rover. Yo! Years when the measles broke out and our ship lost its way in the fog, and the whole of our crew was reduced down to 2, just myself and the captain's old dog. Then the ship struck a rock. Lord, what a shock. The boat, it was tipped right over. It spun 9 times around. The poor old dog was drowned. I'm the last of the Irish Rover. Welcome to the Pub Songs Podcast, the virtual public house for Celtic geek culture. I'm your guide. My name is Mark Gunn, and this show is brought to you by my gun runners over on Patreon. Subscribe to the podcast and get free music when you sign up at pubsong.com. You can go to pubsong.net. I'll get you the newsletter as well, but and the free downloads. But I did set up pubsong.com, which is where all the show notes are for this episode and all the episodes, and has been since 2005. When I started this podcast, can you believe it? 2005, and it was June. No, I guess it's the end of July. That was when I first started the podcast, so it's crazy. That, of course, was the Irish Rover. It's from my album Going for Brogue. Irish sea shanties and pub songs sung with an accent. And today we're going to talk about some famous Irish songs. I have been singing Irish songs since 99 is when I started doing it with music. Found this a cassette, Irish drinking songs. And those are the first songs that I learned. And so I've been a fan of it. It got me started with the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, the Celtic Music Magazine, and a whole bunch more. It's just been a wonderful growth experience for me. There is an episode. Now, this episode, I talk a lot more. But there is an episode, if you want to hear just music, you can either go to Famous Irish Songs episode, show number 164 of the Pub Songs Podcast, or head on over to the Celtic Music Podcast at celticmusicpodcast.com. You'll find hours upon hours upon hours of Celtic music that you can listen to for free. Now, if you enjoy this show and this podcast, then I hope you'll do me a quick favor. Post a review over on Apple Podcasts. It doesn't really help like my ratings or something. I'm climbing up the charts, but it's just nice having lots of feedback on the podcast, and that just helps a lot. And if you're not yet subscribed, you can also sign up while you're there. That does help the popularity of this show, and more people will sign up if you click subscribe. You can do that every month. Speaking of the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, I have two special episodes. These are episodes where I did a special feature. The end of May, I did one on Celtic women singers. Basically, all the women who are singing in bands, Celtic music groups around the world. That's what that episode is about. I'm highlighting all those amazing Celtic artists. This month, June, is Pride Month. So that means that I decided to do a special, an amazing episode of Celtic music with LGBTQ musicians playing, again, Celtic music. So, and I also got to do an interview with Chris Clements of Occam's Razor, which was just brilliant. He's just an awesome guy to talk to. And he plays with one of my favorite Celtic rock bands of all time, Occam's Razor. They're just amazing. When I started listening to Celtic music, particularly Celtic rock, there's a whole bunch of different flavors. Most of it, Celtic rock is like Celtic punk. There's different takes into things. And punk, I like punk. But what I like better is I was an alternative rock type person. So experimental stuff gets a little bit, makes my blood pump. I like the Celtic alternative stuff. And the only other Celtic alternative band out there that I know of is like the Kildares. And I think they're no longer together. But Occam's Razor is doing it, but they're doing it just like I wish I could do. If I was going to do a Celtic rock band, that's probably what I would do. But they are just fantastic. So go check it out. You can go over to CelticMusicPodcast.com to do that right now. I do have a Celt Father live show that I'll be doing this week, and I'll tell you more about it in just a moment. But first, I want to make sure you know that there's going to be an EP, or it'd be a 3 to 5 single track EP of music that's not been released before, that I just kind of put together for people who support the upcoming Celt Father live show, which is this Thursday. So you can follow the link at celtfather.net, and links will be in the show notes when it goes live. Although I think, come to think of it, I think this whole thing will not be available. The show is this Thursday. This goes out next. No, it's going to go out tomorrow. That's right. So I'm trying to get my days all when I pre-record shows. It kind of throws me off. I also have new lyrics for Come by the Hills, Reavers, Malcolm Reavers, Tough Times, A Well-Dressed Hobbit, My Father Was a Werewolf, and Green Grow the Rashes. Now, one of my favorite Irish traditional songs is this one, Star of the County Down. It's from my CD, How America Saved Irish Music. Near to Bambridge town, the county down, one morning last July. Down on Boreen Green came a sweet Colleen, and she smiled as she passed me by. Well, she looked so sweet from her 2 bare feet, the sheen of her nut brown hair. Such a coaxing elf, sure I shook myself to make sure I was really there. From Bantry Bay up to DDK, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met at the county down. As she onward sped, sure I shook my head, and I looked with the feeling rare. Then I says I to a passer-by, with a maid with the nut brown hair. Well, he smiled at me, and with pride says he, the gem of all Ireland's crown. She's young Rosie McCann, from the banks of the Bann, she's the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay up to DDK, from Galway to Dublin town, oh, maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met at the county down. Well, I traveled a bit, but ne'er was hit, since my roving career began. Then fair and square I surrendered there, the charms of young Rosie McCann. I'd a heart to lead and no tinning yet, the sea in short gown, but in she went, and I asked no rent from the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Dedicate, and from Galway to Dublin town. Oh, maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met at the county down. Harvest fair, I'll be surely there, and I'll dress in my Sunday clothes, with my shoes shone bright, my hat cocked right, for a smile from my nut brown rose. No pipe I'll smoke, and no horse I'll yoke, with rust my plow turns brown, till a smiling bride by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Dedicate, from Galway to Dublin town. Oh, maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met at the county down. From Bantry Bay up to Dedicate, from Galway to Dublin town. Oh, maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met at the county down. Hey, I hope this, I haven't checked actually how the sound is going today, which might be useful. Oh, geez, I think I might have, oh, I turned it off the video, sorry. We got anyone online? Good morning, Marcia. All right, I'm going to do a quick little, I'm going to do a quick tuning here. So, in the meantime, I want to tell you about my Celtic invasion vacations. Every year I take a small group of people on these Celtic invasion vacations. And basically what we do is we go to some place, we stay in one location, and while we're there, we get to see the people, we get to see the area, we get to know the region. If you ever go into a tour, they go on these big buses, and it's a lot of people, and it's noisy, and it's exhausting because you're constantly going. They kind of go nonstop, and that's just not my thing. I like to stop and take time to smell the roses or just breathe, you know. Thus my song, Breathing. But there's a place that I went to last year, which was the Celtic invasion of Dingle, Ireland. And in Dingle, Ireland, I invited a couple musicians to come play. I was surprised to find that Jerry O'Byrne was living in Dingle, Ireland. And Jerry O'Byrne is an Irish musician who I met when Andy M. Stewart did his first solo tour in like 2001 in the United States. He had not done much in a long time, wanted to tour the U.S., and I helped make that happen through, it must have been about 2001, 2002 actually, and it was awesome. But the highlight for that show was actually Jerry O'Byrne, because he was just such a nice guy. He was doing some original songs, very creative, very cool sounding, and I'll share you a song of his from his new album after this podcast, this interview I did with him, and I think you'll enjoy it. So in the meantime, I'm going to tune up this auto harp while you get to listen to Jerry O'Byrne, if you're listening on the podcast. If you're not, I'll be back, I'll be right here. So, all right, here's the interview with Jerry O'Byrne. All right, so those of you who are online, say hi. What are you doing today? I don't look at the comments during the Pub Songs podcast. It's a bit distracting. So instead, I am just going to jump right into it. If you, the podcast should be out tomorrow at noon. So if you want to hear the interview, which is really, I had a lot of fun chatting with Jerry. So I highly recommend it. It was such a good trip. Next year, well, I'll tell you about that in a sec, but next year we're going to Scotland, so let's finish this up. Oh, and don't forget that internet concert on Thursday. All right, here, let's get this back going again. I hope you enjoyed that track from Jerry O'Byrne. That is from his new album. Oh, what is the name of his new album? I forgot to write down the name of his new album. Jerry O'Byrne. His new album is called... No, it's not called... I think it's like... Running with a Horse? No. Splashing. What is that new album? Well, I'll find out in just a moment, won't I? Da-da-da. Who do we have online? Jessica. Thank you, Jessica. Here's one of his tracks. There's Swimming the Horses. There we go. That's from his new album, Swimming the Horses. I hope you enjoyed that. And it's time for Pub Chat. You can chat in the pub. Please send me your feedback. What are you doing today while listening to the Pub Songs podcast? You can send a written comment along with a picture of what you're doing while listening. And you can also email me at mark@markgunn.com or chat in the Celtic Geeks group on Facebook. I use that actually quite a bit for obtaining comments and whatnot. Now, I had this idea that struck me. I was trying to think, as a musician, how are you supposed to, promote yourself like on these visual platforms like Instagram? And I was like, I just don't know. I've long debated what to do for promoting stuff, and then I was looking at someone's page. It was not a musician. It was not an artist. And I realized, oh, well, you know what I could possibly do? One sec. What I could possibly do is post pictures from you. And so that's what I decided to basically do. I decided that what I'm going to start doing is sharing some of your pictures. I want to add a photo element to this podcast where you can send in pictures, and sometimes that just might be a picture of a CD. But what would be really cool is a photo series of CDs in various locations. So, I mean, you could have a CD sitting on your computer, you could have it sitting in the grass, you could have it sitting on a banjo, on a guitar, you could have it, with you wherever you are, just having a picture. I think that would be a really fun way of doing this. So, I don't know. What do you think? If you have a picture that you would like to use, I would love to get that from you. Meantime, I am going to post I have a few pictures in the show notes at pubsong.com for show number 208. I had several people who responded over on the Celtic Geeks group. I'll have a direct link to that as well in the show notes, so check that out. All right, let's find this. Dun, 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 dun. Sitting in Kuwait, listening to you, trying to figure out how it's been over 10 years since I started listening. Wow. Working from home means I get to listen to you while I work, says Relevant Gray. Jessica is in Kuwait. Marcia is, I'm outside with my dogs. And Carol is just saying, hey, nice to see you. Thank you all so much for dropping in. I apologize for the little bit of a delay here. I'm working on stuff. I'm also working on an idea so Gen Con is coming up, and they're going to be doing it only online this year, which stinks on the one hand, but it gives me an opportunity to stretch my creativity so that for Gen Con, what I'm thinking about doing is I've been doing Firefly drinking songs in particular over the years, And so I was thinking, what if I did a Firefly drinking songs, but since it's, we're basically mostly staying home here, what if I broadcast it as if I am out on the Cortex, broadcasting it live on the Cortex. It could be an illegal broadcast. I'm still working on the details and trying to figure out how to pull this off, but I was looking for some things that I could slip in there, just little bits of fun. Like I have someone who's going to be doing a Monahan's Mother's Milk parody commercial, which Sarah came up with this great idea. I love it. And you'll have to wait to see it if you want to catch it, but it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I did ask, before I get to some of those comments, I did ask people, what are the top 5 most famous Irish songs for you? And here is some of your picks of them. Let me find this link here. Facebook is running exceedingly slow today. Okay, now all of a sudden the Instagram post loads up. Okay. Here we go. All right, Alan Marcotte sent a picture of me that shows off his German beer steins. Jen shared a picture. It looks like on a table. I'm going to guess that that's her dining table. Well, Celia Garland shared one shared several CDs. She didn't want to limit herself to just one. So she has. There was a way to actually share these with you. I could have done that if I thought ahead, but oh well. But she has, including, there's a Don't Go Drinking with Hobbit CD, which is a limited edition cover, which is awesome. And then Janine shared her 3 of her CDs at least, with I'm proud of my transpositron, the cardstock gadget behind the CDs. I can transpose music through my formal music education ended, though my first formal education ended in 6th grade. Yeah, my education when it comes to reading music is not so good. I am not that good at reading music. I have had, studied a little bit, but not so much. It's kind of pathetic, I'll be honest. All right. Let's find those. You know what? This is taking forever, so I'm going to load it up on here. Anyways, this is one of those times when the live show helps to have everything together. I thought I did. And lo and behold, we load up the news. Okay, here we go. All right. So Kelly Dursky, as far as the 5 most famous Irish songs for you, and this is an important distinction. It's like people, what are the top 5 Irish songs? I think, for me, the top ones that come to mind are Danny Boy, Whiskey in the Jar, Wild Rover, Star of the County Down, and there was another one that I had on my brain a moment ago, but I totally lost it. Maybe Wally Malone. Kelly listed Kevin Barry, though that may be a Savannah thing. Molly Malone, Wild Mountain Time, Whiskey in the Jar, and Black Velvet Band. With honorable mentions to Beer, 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 Fields of Athenry, Green Grove, The Laurel, and A Storm McCree. Joshua says Danny Boy, and Danny Boy's a funny one because it's an Irish melody, but it's the lyrics are by an English lawyer. But I still consider it probably the most famous Irish song just because it's a part of the Irish American heritage. And that's one of the biggest parts of when America has done so much for bringing Ireland back to the world. Bringing the culture, keeping the culture alive by visiting it and whatnot. It's incredible. Joshua also says Whiskey in the Jar, Molly Malone, and if I can dip into modern Irish music, I'd say the Cranberries' Zombie, and probably something from U2 like Sunday Bloody Sunday, which should qualify as a particularly famous Irish song. Good point. Janine says Molly Malone, Patty works on the railroad. A verse-ish, a version, I guess she was trying to say, of Danny Boy. Verse-ish? I'm not sure. I'd probably go with the Wild Rover and Whiskey in the Jar as the last two. I occasionally hear they kept the pig in the parlor from my dad's family, but have to say that's an anti-Irish song. I don't know that one. But the anti-Irish sentiment, I just posted a newsletter. I sent out a newsletter today. If you haven't checked your email, go check out Mark's Musings. It is a tribute to Black Lives Matter. For this very reason, they have these. You know, the leprechaun, for instance. The leprechaun, once upon a time, was not a symbol of certainly of Irish pride. It was a symbol of, it was basically the non-Irish in America started using it as a symbol to show off the drunk and ineptitude of the Irish. Little piece of history here. So it's been, you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm a supporter of the Black Matters movement. Black Lives Matter movement. I'll get this. Black Lives Matter. The Wild Colonial Boy, Bold Fenian Man, Whiskey in the Jar, Rising of the Moon, and Brennan on the Moor is from Alan Marcotte. And Matt Hughes says Wild Rover, Black Velvet Band, Whiskey in the Jar, Finnegan's Wake, and Molly Malone. Yeah, so the first album that I got, this Irish drinking songs, it was just packed with drinking. Well, I don't know if you could call them drinking songs. They were, you know, what is a drinking song? A drinking song is a good sing-along. So Irish, it had Wild, Whiskey in the Jar, Black Velvet Band, Finnegan's Wake, you know, and that's where I got my start and fell in love with the music that we listen to today. What is yours? What are your favorite top 5 Irish songs? You can post them in the comments. I'd love to hear about that. If you're on YouTube, you can post them. I'd like it if you can post them in the comments. That'd be great instead of the chat. That way others can see your comments. All right, I was loading up lyrics also for Galway Shawl. This is one that I found. I think I first heard it from who was it? 3 Pints Gone. Or maybe they were Wild Mountain Time at the time. I don't know. They've had a couple names, but I love this song. At Oran in the county Galway, one pleasant evening in the month of May, I spy. You know, I'm starting that over and over. At Oran in the county Galway, one pleasant evening in the month of May, I spied a damsel. She was young and handsome, her beauty fairly took my breath away. She wore no jewels, nor costly diamonds, no paint, no powder, no, nay, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and round her shoulder was the Galway shawl. We kept on walking, she kept on talking, till their father's cottage came into view. She said, "Come in, sir, and meet my father, and play to please him the folly-do." She wore no jewels, nor costly diamonds, no powder, no, nay, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and round her shoulders was the Galway shawl. She set me down beside the hearthstone. I could see her father, he was 6 feet tall, and soon her mother had the kettle singing. All I could think of was the Galway shawl. She wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, no paint, no powder, no, nay, none at all. She wore a bonnet, the ribbon on it, and round her shoulders was the Galway shawl. I played the blackbird, the stack of barley, Rodney's glory, and the foggy dew. She sang each note like an Irish linnet, and tears wheeled in her eyes of blue. She wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, no paint, no powder, no, nay, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and round her shoulder was a Galway shawl. 'Twas early, early, all in the morning, I hit the road for old Donegal. She said, goodbye, sir. She cried and kissed me. My heart remained with the Galway shawl. She wore no jewels, nor costly diamonds, no paint, no powder, no, nay, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and round her shoulder was the Galway shawl. Upcoming shows. What do we have coming up? There's actually, I just realized that I need to update that list right there too, because I had a few new gigs that were added to my calendar just this week. So this is going to be one of those days. First off, this Thursday at June 11th at 8:30 p.m. I am doing a concert over on YouTube. It is free to watch. Obviously, if you enjoy the music, I do love your support. So you can come join me over there, but you don't have to. You want to support me, you don't have to buy a ticket or anything like that. It does help if you want to. One of the things I'm doing to encourage your support is I put together a short single or EP. There's at least 3 tracks, I know. It might get up to 4 or 5 before the Thursday, but it's just a 3-song single, I guess you'd call it, or EP, which of new music that I recorded just for this occasion. I'm actually getting it mixed and mastered. It's so far it's sounding great, so I hope you will check that out. Just me and the Autoheart, and beautifully mixed by Mitchell Peterson, who does a lot of my editing for podcasts as well as some music stuff. But that is 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Central. On Saturday, June 13th, is Quarantina Palooza. It's going to be on Sarah Donner's Facebook page. She invited me to join. The show starts, the entire show, it's not just me, but the entire show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern and goes until about 8:15. June 20th is my first live show in front of people. It's at the Lost Druid in Decatur, Georgia, 7 to 9 p.m. This is their 1-year anniversary. They opened up a year ago on the summer solstice last year, so congratulations to them. I'm looking forward to being out there. And June 25th, that's a Thursday, I'll be at Tucker Brewing Company. I'm excited to be back there as well. Their new Rattler is in, and it's it's like my favorite drink when it's hot and terrible outside. It's just so refreshing. Apparently it was a drink that was given to like bicyclists in France when they were hot during the summer or something. They're biking in the summer. It's a drink you could just kick back and relax and cool down. And finally, on June 28th is the Courtesan and the Cabin Boy. I'm doing an interview and some songs there to be sci-fi Ren Fair music. So, yes, there you go. That's their sort of theme. What else? Coffee of the Kilt Father is happening every Wednesday. This is season 6. It starts the season 6 episodes, which are now start at 11 a.m. I won't be doing it next week because we are going to be out of town for that. We're going camping. But this week, this Wednesday, I will be there, 11 a.m. Eastern, once again, over on my Facebook page at Kilt Father. That will take you straight over there. What else can I say about it? That's what I was going to say. When I come back, the week after that, so that is, June 24th or something like that? Yeah, June 24th. I'm going to be doing a special show highlighting the music of Rhys Sheridan Rose. So if you don't know, I've been writing music with Rhys Sheridan Rose since 2003, maybe 2002. She first gave me the song Soul of a Harper, and I was like, that's a beautiful song. And then she wrote a song for basically it turned into Brown Coats Keep Freedom's a Spark. Brown Coats are I'm drawing a blank on the name of the song right now. Keep Flying. Brown Coats Keep Flying. That's the name of it. It was originally done for the Done the Impossible soundtrack, and which is a Firefly documentary. And I did that with her. And then she had sent some songs for my Pirates versus Dragons. And she first wrote some songs for Don't Go Drinking with Hobbits. And we collaborated on that. Half the songs on that album she wrote, more than half. And then the Pirates versus Dragons, entirely written by her, lyrics, all of hers. All I did was set it to music. I took her lyrics and set them to music. All the songs that worked the best for me. So we've done a lot of collaborations over the years. So I thought, it just struck me today. I was like, or is it yesterday? But I was like, what would be cool? I should do a special feature on her songs, because why not? It's not like we don't have 20 plus songs that we wrote together. So that's going to happen in 2 weeks on Coffee with the Kilt Father. So I hope you'll come join us for that. That's all the news for now. Again, if you'd like to support the Kilt Father live show that's happening this Thursday, 8:30 p.m., head on over. Let's play some more music. This is Whiskey in the Jar. As I was going over the far-famed Kerry Mountains, met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol and then produced a rapier, saying, "Send and deliver, for I am a bold deceiver." Moosha-ring-a-ma-doo-da-ba-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I counted out his money and it made a pretty penny. I put it in me pocket and I took it home to Jenny. She sighed and she swore that she never would deceive me, but the devil take the women, for they never can be easy. Moosha-ring-a-ma-doo-da-ba-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I went into my chamber all for to take slumber. I dreamt of golden jewels, and for sure was no wonder. For Jenny took me charges, and she filled them up with water, then sent for Captain Farrell to be ready for the slaughter. And moo-sha-ring-dum-a-doo-dum-a-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. It was early in the morning as I rose up to travel. The guards were all around me, and likewise Captain Farrell. I first produced my pistol, for she stole away my rapier, but I couldn't shoot the water, so a prisoner I was taken. Moo-sha-ring-dum-a-doo-dum-a-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. If anyone can aid me, it's me, a brother in the army, and if I can find a station down in Corker and Killarney, and if he'll come and save me, we'll go roving near Kilkenny, and I swear he'll treat me better than me darling sportling Jenny. Moo-sha-ring-dum-a-doo-dum-a-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Moo-sha-ring-dum-a-doo-dum-a-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Now some men take delight in the drinking and the roving, others take delight in, oh, the gambling and the smoking, but I take delight in the juice of the barley, and courting pretty fair maids in the morning bright and early. Moo-sha-ring-dum-a-doo-dum-a-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Moo-sha-ring-dum-a-doo-dum-a-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Woo. All right, support what you love. If you enjoy the music in this show, then please show your support. Buy music, merch. Follow me on Spotify and tell a friend. And also same thing with Jerry O'Byrne. If you enjoyed what you heard, go find out more about him. You can follow him on Spotify as well. You can also join the Gunrunners Club on Patreon. Your support funds my songwriting. It does. So it pays for the production and promotion of my music and the podcast. Your kindness pays for my time in producing this show. Plus, I take you behind the scenes every week with a Stories from the Road podcast. You get it all for just $5 per month. As little as $5 per month. Learn more at Patreon. You can follow the link there. Special thanks to my newest patrons, Patricia C., Nathan Bursley, Sarah Beth S., Matthew L., James L., Not Higgins, Chuck G., A. Murphy, and Laura Mae Sorkin, who raised her membership. Yeah, and thank you all so much for supporting the music. I hope you enjoyed it. The last song you heard was from my CD, Not Every Day is St. Patrick's Day. This is from The Bridge. It is Black Velvet Band with my own little twist. Her eyes shone like a diamond. Think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. In a neat little town they called Belfast, a princess in trade I was bound, and many is the hour of sweet happiness I spent in that neat little town, till a sad misfortune befell me, caused me to stray from the land, far away from your friends and relations, to follow the black velvet band. Yes, her eyes, they shone like a diamond. You think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. As I was strolling down Broadway, not intending to go very far, I met with a frolicsome damsel plying her trade in a bar. Well, a watch she took from a customer, and she slipped it right into my hand. The watch came and put me in prison. Bad luck to the black velvet band. Yes, her eyes had shone like a diamond. You think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Before judge and jury next morning, for trial I had to appear, And the judge, he said, my young fellow, the case against you was quite clear. Well, 7 long years your sentence. You're going to Van Diemen's land, far away from your friends and relations, to follow the black velvet band. Yes, her eyes shone like a diamond. I think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. So come all you jolly young fellows, I'll have you take warning by me. If you're ever out on the liquor, me boys, beware the pretty colleen, or she'll fill you with whiskey and porter until you're not able to stand. And the very next thing that you'll know, me lads, is you landed in Van Diemen's land. Yes, her eyes shone like a diamond. You think she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Yes, her eyes shone like a diamond. You think she was queen of the land. Her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Tied up with a black velvet band. The Pub Songs Podcast is produced by Mark Gunn. To subscribe, go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or to my website, where you can subscribe to my mailing list. I'll email you regular updates of new music and podcasts, special offers, and you'll get 19 songs for free. Welcome to the pub at pubsong.com. All right, thank you all so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I'm going to do a couple songs that I want to have. Let's see, what do we have on there? Oh, look at this. We've got a decent number of people out here. Let's see. Jessica, can't stop the signal. Lila Making. Hey, Mark. Greetings. Laramie, on the loose. Bonjour. Hey, how's it going? Does Old Dun Cow count? Yes, you know, Old Dun Cow also counts as a great Irish song to me. So, is it Irish? Who cares? Good morning. Yeah, I know, Miranda, this is one of the songs, I'm assuming you're talking about Galway Shaw. I was thinking about you when I put this in the show. So, you have gigs, Dan says. I feel a bit foolish for clapping at the cues in the song. You should never feel ashamed about that. I kind of feel like, you know, especially with live shows, you should, you know, it might seem kind of silly, but it, you know, it could also seem kind of silly me saying, somebody shouted McIntyre, and then waiting for you. Avery says, I don't think my inflection on D's came through. That's okay. But you know, I feel that's okay. We can work on, I think you should definitely get into it no matter what. All right, so I'm going to do a couple more songs, particularly stuff that I want, just feeling the need to try to record. And if you have a request, I might do one or two. We'll see how it goes. But I have a lot to do in a limited amount of time, so we're going to go plug on with this. So, the sun was setting in the west. The birds were singing on every tree. All nature seemed inclined. Try that again. The sun was setting in the west. The birds were singing on every tree. All nature seemed inclined for rest, but still there was no rest for me. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I'm far away across the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? I grieve to leave my native land. I grieve to leave my comrades all, and my parents whom I love so dear, and the bonny, bonny lassie that I do adore. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I'm far away across the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? I have 3 brothers, they are at rest. Their arms are folded across their chests. But a poor simple sailor just like me must be tossed and turned on the deep dark sea. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and drear I be. For when I am far away across the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? The drums they do beat, the war's to alarm. The captain calls, I must obey. So farewell, fare ye well to Nova Scotia's charms, for it's early in the morning and I'm far, far away. Farewell to Nova Scotia, the sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and drear I be. For when I am far away across the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and drear I be. For when I am far away across the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and drear I be. For when I am far away across the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? That was one of the songs that I had planned for my Kilt Father Live EP this month, and I recorded it and I listened back and I was like, I don't know if I really like it. So I thought I'd re-record it and see if I can get a version that I like. I like that. I think that was pretty good. There's one little screw up that's easily fixed, so I might use that. And the other one that I wanted to mess with was it was going back through. I'm going to try a different key for the song we were singing earlier, Galway Shaw. Again, if there's something you'd like to hear, post something. I'll do one more song after this one. Galway, more and more in the county Galway, one in the month of May. I'm going to try it in the F. That seems like an interesting key. In Nor and Moran, in the county Galway. Maybe not. Try one more time. In Nor and Moran, in the county Galway, one pleasant evening. One more time. In Nor and Moran, in the county Galway, one pleasant evening in the month of May, I spied a damsel. She was young and handsome, her beauty fairly took my breath away. She wore no jewels, nor costly diamonds, no paint, no powder, no, nay, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and round her shoulders was the Galway shawl. We kept on walking, she kept on talking, till her father's cottage came into view. She said, "Come in, sir, and meet my father, and play to please him the foggy dew. She sat me down beside the hearthstone. I could see her father was 6 feet tall, and soon her mother had the kettle singing. All I could think of was the Galway shawl. She wore no jewels, nor costly diamonds, no paint, no powder, no, nay, none at all. She wore a bonnet with ribbons on it, and round her shoulder was the Galway shawl. I played the blackbird and stack of barley, Rodney's glory and the foggy dew. She sang each note like an Irish linnet, and tears welled in her eyes of blue. She wore no jewels, nor costly diamonds, no paint, no powder, no, nay, none at all. She wore a bonnet with ribbons on it, and round her shoulder was the Galway shawl. She wore no jewels, nor costly diamonds, no paint, no powder, no, nay, none at all. She wore a bonnet with a ribbon on it, and round her shoulder was the Galway shawl. I don't know. Thoughts? Key of F, yes? Maybe. Spancel Hill, that's what I'll finish up with. Love that song. What key did I play that in? Last night as I lay dreaming. Pleasant. Okay. Spancel Hills was on Songs of Ireland. I think I recorded it with the Brobdinnagian Bards. I got all these songs, these Irish songs stuck in my head all of a sudden. Last night as I lay dreaming. There we go. You start getting words, lyrics messed up, so. Last night as I lay dreaming of pleasant days gone by, my mind being bent on rambling, to Ireland I did fly. I stepped aboard a vision, and I followed with the will, till next I came to anchor at a cross near Spancel Hill. Delighted by the novelty, enchanted by the scene, where in me early boyhood, where often I had been, I thought I heard a murmur, I think I hear it still. It's the little stream of water that flows down Spancel Hill. In it being on the 23rd of June, the day before the fair, when Ireland's sons and daughters and friends assembled there, the young, the old, the brave and the bold, came their duties to fulfill at the parish church near Clooney, a mile from Spancel Hill. I went to see my neighbors, to see what they might say. The old ones were all dead and gone, the young ones turning grey. I met the tailor Quigley, he's as old as ever still. I used to make me breeches when I lived live in Spancel Hill. I paid a flying visit to my first and only dove. She's as light as any lily, as gentle as a dove. Ah, she threw her arms around me, saying, Johnny, I love you still. Ah, she's yet the farmer's daughter and the pride of Spancel Hill. I dreamt I knelt and kissed her, as in the days of yore. Ah, Johnny, you're only joking, like so many the times before. And the cock, he crew in the morning, well, he crew both loud and shrill. 'Twas when I awoke in California, yea, many miles from Spancel Hill. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you had fun, and if you did, click a like and let others know about my music. You can go to keltfather.net, get 19 MP3s for free, and all sorts of fun stuff. Find videos and music, and of course CDs. You have CDs? All right, I will be back. Next up, I'm on Wednesday is going to be Coffee the Celt Father, and then Thursday evening I'll be doing Celt Father Live right here on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. I will talk to you later. Sláinte.